and political meetings and conferences aimed at exposing Iran's criminal and deadly meddling in Iraq. At a meeting in the European Parliament's headquarters in Brussels, sponsored by the Committee of Friends of Free Iran, Mohammad Hossein Al-Awaz described crimes perpetrated by the Iranian regime against Iraqi people. In one such meetings in October 2006. This is a question reflecting the word concern. A brief look at the Iraqi parliament explosion and the assassination of the Iraqi parliament member Mohammad Hossein Al-Awaz would give us a lead to come up with an answer. Who is instigating terrorism in Iraq? This is a question reflecting the word concern. Mohammad Hossein Al-Awaz would give us a lead to come up with an answer. On April 12, 2007, around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, a large explosion shattered the Parliament restaurant. The fact that this explosion occurred in the Green Zone, one of the most secure and protected places in Iraq, and the extent. Subsequently, as more information came to light, it became more obvious that the target of the explosion was the assassination of one of the Iraqi MPs, namely Mr. Mohammad Hossein Al-Awaz. But why? Mr. Mohammad Hossein Al-Awaz, member of the Defense and Security Committee of the Parliament from the National Mutlaq, was an active and a competent member of the Iraqi Parliament. During his short stay in Tehran as part of a delegation of Iraqi Parliament visiting Iran, Mohammad Hossein Al-Awaz asked the Iranian officials to stop interfering in the Iraqi internal affairs. In 2006, when he traveled to Europe, he took part in several parliamentary and political meetings and conferences aimed at exposing Iran's meddling in Iraq. At a meeting in the European Parliament's headquarters in Brussels, sponsored by the Committee of Friends of Free Iran, Mohammad Hossein Al-Awaz described crimes perpetrated by the Iranian regime against Iraqi people. In one such meetings in October 2006 in Geneva, Mohammad Hossein Al-Awaz discussed Iranian regime's crimes against innocent. He was a staunch supporter of the Iranian resistance and insisted on the continued presence of the PMI in Iraq as the main Iranian opposition to the ruling theocracy in Iran. Mohammad Hossein's tireless efforts and struggles against Iran's interference in Iraq made him one of the high-value targets of the Iranian terrorists. There was also an attempt against his life in the summer of 2006 in the city of Samarra, but he escaped unharmed. On Thursday, April 12, 2007, initial reports after the explosion in the Parliament's restaurant indicated that there were at least 3 MPs and 5 staffers among those killed in the blast. Reports said 10 others were also injured. On Thursday, April 12, 2007, initial reports after the explosion in the Parliament's restaurant indicated this terrorist act was aimed only against one target. Reports say that not long before the explosion, the security of Parliament was transferred from the multinational forces to the Iraqi security forces. Hadi Al-Amiri, the chairman of the Security Committee of the Parliament, said during a news conference that the explosion was a common event, adding that if anybody wants to infiltrate inside the Parliament, he could, because there are routine conferences taking place every day and it is a common matter. Commander of the Badr Brigade. The Badr Brigade was established in Iran by the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps in 1980s and is part of the international arm of the Revolutionary Guards Force. The assassination of Mohammad Hossein al-Awaz, together with an attempt to assassinate another prominent Iraqi figure, brings this question in mind: that who is instigating terrorism in Iraq? Two failed attempts were carried out on March 31st and April 1st against Dr. Jabouri's life. Dr. Jabouri is the Speaker of the National Front for the Salvation of Della and the former governor of Diyala province. Like Mohammad Hossein al-Awaz, Dr. Jabouri is also one of the politicians who is known for his firm stance against Iranian regime meddling in Iraq and a recognized supporter of the Mujahideen. On the last days of his proud life, Mohammad Hossein al-Awaz was involved in organizing a platform in the parliament entitled Iraq with a Future. In reality, his assassination and the attack against the Iraqi parliament is actually the Iranian regime's assault against a future.
Este documentário, produzido e difundido pela televisão da resistência iraniana sobre o assassínio do meu amigo e companheiro iraquiano Mohammad Hossein al-Awaz, faz muita luz sobre a realidade de hoje no Iraque. A colaboração entre a Al-Qaeda, o regime iraniano e as Brigadas Badr, principal força política presente no atual governo iraquiano, é o para perceber o que passa. A 13 de maio, na televisão da Revolução Islâmica, Hadi al-Amari acusa a resistência iraniana, e em particular a Organização dos Mujahideen do Povo, OMP, de treinar centenas de terroristas e preparar carros-bomba, a partir do campo onde se encontram, sob controle americano, a nordeste de Bagdade. A acusação é reproduzida a dia 15 pelo porta-voz do governo iraquiano, Ali Dabah. A enormidade e o absurdo da acusação, afinal são as forças americanas que supervisionam os terroristas que as atacam.
This is a question reflecting the word concern. A brief look at the Iraqi parliament explosion and the assassination of the Iraqi parliament member Mohammad Hossein al-Awaz would give us a lead to come up with an answer. Mr. Mohammad Hossein al-Awaz, member of the Defense and Security Committee of the Parliament from the National Dialogue Front, chaired by Dr. Saleh al-Mutlaq, was an active and a competent member of the Iraqi Parliament. During his short stay in Tehran as part of a delegation of Iraqi Parliament visiting Iran, Mohammad Hossein al-Awaz asked the Iranian officials to stop interfering in the Iraqi internal affairs. In 2006,
either they would leave you to die if they consider that it was not even necessary to kill you because you would die without help, or they would kill you. And the ambulances, for instance, were used as in militia terrorist operations. For instance, when in the April the 12th, when Mohammed was murdered, a lot of his friends and colleagues were severely injured in Baghdad, in the parliament. And where do you think